So, welcome to the social media marketing update. This is November's session for you all. So, if you're new to our social media marketing updates, and a little bit about myself and Avocado Social, we run a social media consultancy called Avocado Social. I've been working in the industry for 15 years now, and Avocado Social is 11 years old. So, we offer a lot of consultancy to brands across the globe with their social media marketing strategies. Things are ever changing, so we are constantly keeping our clients up to date with the latest social media features and the latest trends. We run online courses, and you can find out more about those if you scan the QR code over on the left-hand side of the screen right now. And we've got tons coming up. We've just announced our 2026 agenda for all of our workshops. So if you want to go and explore those, then you are very, very welcome to. But our ethos here at Avocado Social is simply to keep everybody updated on one of the fastest paced industries I think you can work in online. So, one other thing to announce before we get started is that every year we predict the upcoming social media trends for 2026. And we are going to be predicting our trends for the year ahead on the 11th of December. That is a 2-hour session because there is just so much to cover that's coming up in the world of social media. You can join that session, which starts at 1 o'clock until 3 o'clock, and it's completely free to attend. So I will be sharing lots of tips and advice about how to update your social media strategies for the year ahead. And we're going to be covering some of the latest features and tools coming from the world of social media over the next year. So you can scan that QR code, or we'll be sending over a link that you can sign up to join that session completely for free on the 11th of December. So I really hope to see you all there. So, as usual, we've got another busy month in social media updates and lots to cover today. So, there's a really big mix of different platforms making announcements and new changes all the time. So, you can see today we've got updates from Meta, from TikTok, WhatsApp, which is, of course, part of Meta, Reddit, LinkedIn. So whether you're a B2C or a B2B marketer, we've got plenty for you over the next 45 minutes or so. And like I said, we'll then open the floor to questions. So I can see there's lots of people still coming in through the waiting room. So I'm hesitant to get started until we're all with us. But as I said, do remember that this session is being recorded, and you can watch back on any of our previous updates on our YouTube channel, Avocado Social UK. Okay, I think we should get started, and we've got some really juicy updates for you today. So let's head into it. The first update is Sora 2 from OpenAI hits Android.
I'm here with what appears to be an alien who apparently has a message for us.
That's right, thank you. I'm here to report that Sora is now on Android.
Wait, what?
Okay, so you may have seen news about this online, but ChatGPT maker OpenAI has just launched a video AI platform. It is called Sora, and the latest version of that is called Sora 2. And the app is now available on iOS and Android in Canada, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, US, and Vietnam. So you'll notice it's not quite available yet in the UK, but I'm sure we won't be far behind. Its prime function allows users to leverage AI to make videos using prompts. So this is going to be the turn of some really interesting new social media content that's going to flood our feeds for the next year. And this is actually one of the biggest changes we're going to see in the next year ahead in social media, which is the rise of AI video. The app displays videos in a scrollable TikTok-like vertical feed so that users can view content created by others using the technology. On its first day in the Google Play Store, the Android version of the app saw an estimated 470,000 downloads across the markets where it's available. So it is doing incredibly well. And it is approximated that over 296,000 of those were US-based downloads as well. So let's look at a few examples of this kind of AI video that we're beginning to see.
Your chicken's looking nice, pal. Hey,
Woo! Yo, he stole my chicken!
got a crispy treasure, can't slow me down. Hot and golden, I'm out at this town. Move, move, Friday victory.
Well, get back here.
Run, spin, slide, I'm gliding out the door. Fried love in my arms, can't give it up no more. Hey, I'm telling you right now, it's not. I'm not crazy. That person is not real.
Okay, so you may have seen just a little bit of kind of video blurring, or the videos might not have played as clearly there. I think that's down to Zoom, so apologies if you did see a bit of stop and start there. But I think you get the idea of the sorts of video that is already being created by AI. We've seen videos featuring Michael Jackson, featuring the Queen. So there's already quite a lot of disinformation that could potentially be spread using this app. We also have seen a lot of videos of kind of very unusual or shocking scenes. So it's really going to be quite a fascinating space, the way in which social media is going to go with the rise of this content. And you'll also note that it's not very obvious that this is AI created content. There's just a tiny little watermark there that says Sora on it. So it's not as obvious to people that maybe aren't as aware of AI and how that can impact people's kind of beliefs, people's political stances, for example. So it's slightly, wow, I'm very concerned about what this means in terms of the future of social media content. We don't have access to this app yet in the UK, but we are seeing some of the content already come through on Instagram and TikTok. So you do have to be very aware as a marketer and as a social media user what is real and what isn't. And so I think over the next year, us as marketers need to really heavily train ourselves on what makes an AI video an AI video. What are the signs we need to be looking out for? And I'm going to be talking about that much more in our trends talk. But the Michael Jackson video, for example, has already had 24 million views on TikTok and 2.5 million likes. So it is very worrying how this kind of deep fake content can be very easily created just by using a prompt. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that in the year to come. But that was very big news this month. Meta has rolled out Vibes, its AI short form video feed in Europe. So, following along with the same theme, our second trend of today is that Vibes is a new Meta AI app that has been launched. Vibes is a dedicated feed to AI video. So it's specifically designed for creating, remixing, and sharing short form AI videos. So it's conceptually very similar to TikTok and Reels because you swipe through the videos. But the crucial distinction is that every single video that displays is AI generated. So you can see here, Meta is incredibly leaning into this AI trend. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about in our upcoming trends talk is the rise of AI slop. So AI slop is content which isn't of the highest quality and often can be used for kind of humorous or maybe kind of controversial purposes. So I'm going to be talking a bit more about that in our trends talk. But for now, I think it's really, really interesting to see that Meta has also created their option for creating AI video. So when you create some video using Meta Vibes, you can share that directly into the Vibes feed, or you can send it to friends via DM or cross-post it to Instagram or Facebook stories and reels. So there are going to be lots of cross-posting options available for users. Looking on to the next slide, Meta has said that over 20 billion images have been made using our AI tools since launching Vibes in the US. So people have been experimenting in exciting and innovative ways, according to Meta. Now, I use my air quotes there because I also think that this is potentially quite a dangerous turn that we are taking in the world of social media content. Any media generated in the app itself has jumped more than tenfold since it first launched. So Meta are seeing some incredible figures when it comes to how many people are using these tools already. Let's have a look at the next slide. So this is interesting because this shows you how detailed the prompts actually are. So this is a prompt where a user has asked for a video to be created featuring a cat. As you can see there, it is, a very, very detailed prompt. And it's even like suggesting at what point in the videos close-ups are used, what kind of feelings the video invokes as well. So you can see here, it's not just like create me a cat video, but the users who are already investing in Vibes are using some really, really powerful descriptions in order to get very high quality generated from the app. And as you can see in this video, there isn't like a clear label either that this is created by Vibes, which I think is very worrying that Meta hasn't kind of made that stamp to say this is an AI video. So maybe that's something that will be coming, but I do think we need to like regulate social media platforms very quickly to show what is AI and what is not. If we look at the So you can see a cat there looking directly at the screen. When Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg unveiled the feed in September, the user comments in response to his announcement post were pretty negative. So a lot of people were saying like, nobody wants this, it's artless, don't show me this again. Or I think I speak for everyone when I say, what? That was when they launched in the US. They've just launched in the past week or so in Europe. So it will be very interesting to see if this app gets widely adopted. But I think given that Sora 2 has also launched, shows that this probably is something that people are going to begin using more and more. So moving away from AI video, Instagram launched competitor insights for brands. So this is a new feature which has been rolling out across Instagram recently. This was actually a screen grab shared to Threads. It could well be a bit of a test. It's not widely available yet, but if you do have access to this new competitive insights, you'll find it in your professional dashboard within competitive insights. So it might be worth taking a look. So the new competitor insights tool feature on Instagram is basically an integrated analytical tool that allows professional users to select up to 10 accounts to directly compare yourselves to in terms of your insights or even learning from other strategies to help improve your results. It provides side-by-side comparison. You can compare your account's performance to other profiles based on follower growth, post frequency, reels, and even ads as well. Interestingly, this individual post performance data is visible even if the competitor account has hidden its likes as well. So you will be able to see that. Ads shown here only include boosted posts, not those run by Meta Ads Manager. So quite interesting to see that Instagram is suddenly kind of allowing us to see all this insight around up to 10 competitors. And let's see what people have responded to this new feature with. Well, it does kind of go against Instagram's ethos of being like this lovely, positive, creative space where it's not about how many followers you have and it's not about how many likes you have. So actually, it's had quite a negative response. People are saying that actually it's gross, which I quite liked. Hate it as well was another one. And this is totally against mental health care. It does seem a bit of a strange move from Meta, who recently have been focusing more on reducing screen time and protecting mental health with teen accounts, for example. So it will be interesting to see if this is picked up. But other platforms do offer this. So LinkedIn does have its competitor analysis for comparing your company page to other company pages, which has recently moved into the paid premium account features. So we shall see. If you've got this feature, I'd love to hear from you. So let us know in the chat whether you have access to this and what you think. TikTok launches broadcast channels to rival Instagram. So we've seen a massive rise in Instagram broadcasts over the last year as more and more marketers move towards these private niche community spaces. And let me tell you, give you a sneak peek on our 2026 trends because community marketing is not going anywhere anytime quickly. In fact, we're going to see a massive rise in brands creating these much more closed down spaces. It's not necessarily anything new. I mean, we've had Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups for years, but I'm definitely seeing more and more brands investing in Instagram broadcasts and WhatsApp communities more so than ever before. So, following that same pattern, TikTok has decided it wants in on the game. And on the 13th of November, TikTok introduced bulletin boards. So, this is a new way for TikTok creators to communicate with their fans and build community. The bulletin board is a one-to-many broadcast channel within the TikTok app. It allows creators to communicate and share content directly with their fans and followers, and creators can post news and updates or share exclusive content. It supports text, image, and video posts. It's rolling out to creators who are at least 18 years old, who have at least 50,000 followers or more globally. So this is a bit of an exclusive tool for TikTok creators who have at least 50,000 followers. It's essentially exactly the same as Instagram's broadcast channels feature. Instagram initially launched broadcasts in 2023. So it has taken a couple of years for TikTok to kind of follow suit. But obviously, they are seeing how well broadcast channels are working for Instagram. The functionality is very similar because just like Instagram's broadcast channels, only the creator of the bulletin board is permitted to post messages. Let's take a look at how that looks. This is exactly how it's set up. So these are just some screenshots that have been shared so far from TikTok just to show you kind of the functionality of it. You can create a board name, a description, an image. So it'd be interesting to see kind of how those begin to look across TikTok. And I'm sure they perform very well. WhatsApp prepares to introduce usernames. Okay, so lots of us have started to use WhatsApp much more to engage with businesses or to be part of communities, which could be kind of shared interest groups around specific topics. I mean, I'm in quite a few marketing communities on WhatsApp now and have seen those kind of really build in ways that I never have before. I mean, WhatsApp for me was always quite a private channel, but in the last year, I've definitely kind of flipped my thinking and am very open to engaging with local businesses or engaging with other marketers and problem solving and sharing challenges. So it's interesting to see that WhatsApp is finally set to give users the option to create a username within the app, as opposed to using your phone number as your key identifier. The primary benefit for individuals is increased security and privacy. So sometimes you don't really want everybody to kind of see your phone number or have access to your phone number. So this allows you to use a username when interacting with businesses or people that you don't know. For businesses, this is similar to other platforms, and this change allows users to create a brand identity within the app. It enables you to basically easier develop a brand presence on WhatsApp. So it's essentially just going to give people more confidence about their privacy when they are messaging a business. On that subject, we're getting ready to launch our Avocado Social WhatsApp channel in the new year, which is going to be called Avocado Social Insiders. So this is one of the benefits of joining our membership. You get access to our WhatsApp channel where we're going to be sharing some interesting campaigns, breaking news, and also chatting away on all things social media marketing with anyone who's interested. So if you do want to find out more about our upcoming WhatsApp channel, we'll be sharing the details of our membership at the end of our webinar today. LinkedIn adds event integrations to boost engagement. Now, LinkedIn events is not a new thing at all. They've been around for a long time, but actually, LinkedIn events have seen a big rise in the last couple of years, particularly post-COVID. I think people are utilizing them much more to signify when they have either an online or an in real life meetup happening. Just this year, we started experimenting once again with LinkedIn events to see if we can use it in a way to drum up more online workshop attendance. And actually, we do find that our events do get suggested in the newsfeed to people who maybe haven't heard of us. So it is good for building your brand, particularly if you're running free events, which aren't, a huge ask to get people to attend, other than, of course, their time. LinkedIn says that event ads drive, on average, 31% more viewership of events. So they have begun to invest in more opportunities for us to use ads to drive event attendance. They're just launching some new features as part of their ads offering. And so new lead generation objective ads will add lead generation as a campaign objective when you're running an event ad. So this allows marketers to reach more people who are likely to register for the event. Once leads are captured through the campaign, they sync directly to a CRM or an MAP. So it's a really great way as a B2B marketer to be building up your prospect lists as people who are maybe attending free events are in that prospective phase. I went to a really interesting talk by LinkedIn recently who said that 98% of your audience on LinkedIn aren't ready to buy at that particular stage. Just 2% of your followers on LinkedIn are in that moment where they are literally ready to buy. So that really does, I think, build the significance of making sure that you are offering valuable content throughout the year or years so that you are keeping your B2B prospectives engaged over long periods of time so that when they are in that moment where they are ready to buy, you are instantly on their shortlist of who they're going to use or who they're going to engage with as a B2B business. So that's something that I think is a really interesting part of our 2026 strategies is how can you kind of consistently show up in people's feeds on LinkedIn and consistently offer high value content to people who aren't necessarily like in that moment where they're going to buy. And so using events, I think, is a great way of doing that. LinkedIn is also adding several new options and integrations to help users broadcast and promote their events to a wider audience. So this month, we've seen two new announcements from LinkedIn about companies that they are now integrating and syncing up with. So one of those is called On24. They are a webinar hosting platform, and event creators on LinkedIn can now manage their events via On24. So you can manage your LinkedIn events and sync them up. So marketers can run LinkedIn events ads directly from On24. You can create and launch an event directly on 24 on 24. And regardless of where the event is hosted, marketers can also use the company or event page to boost and reach more people during, after, or before an event. The other integration that we've seen this month is with Cvent. So Cvent is an online webinar platform. I've used it quite a lot over the years as well. And users of Cvent can now sync their event data with LinkedIn. So if people register or attend your events, you can get that information from Cvent, and you can put that directly into LinkedIn's campaign manager. So this is making it much easier to retarget high intent audiences. Think if somebody's come to one of your webinars recently, they're probably more likely then to be interested in hearing about your products and services via an ad on LinkedIn. So really thinking about the use of LinkedIn events as part of your marketing funnel. Another update from LinkedIn. LinkedIn debuts AI-powered people search. So the VP of product marketing at LinkedIn recently shared that LinkedIn has infused AI into its search functionality, allowing users to find people using natural language queries. Users no longer have to rely on complicated filters or specific job titles to find the right people. So we're going to be able to start using AI-powered queries like these ones. I think these are really interesting, like who left finance to do something creative, or who can help me raise money for a non-profit, or I'm looking for English majors who work in communications. This follows the release of a similar AI job search tool for US members earlier in the year. So it's quite US there, you can see in terms of those queries. And of course, it is starting in the US as where they are rolling it out. If we just have a look at the next slide, you can see it is being rolled out to premium subscribers in the US, and LinkedIn has said that it will continue to iterate. LinkedIn plans to expand the feature to other geographies in the coming months. So I think this is a really interesting one, being able to say like who in my network, works in social media, or who in my network specifically works on Google Ads. These are questions that I'm regularly asking people in my network anyway. So it makes sense to be able to ask LinkedIn AI to actually look and find these people for me. It's going to make recruitment a lot easier as well, particularly if you are doing any sort of headhunting or looking for people with very specific skills as well. So I think that's a really clever move from LinkedIn, but very clever that they are only rolling it out to premium. Okay, so on to the next trend. Threads introduces podcast promotion tools. So Threads has begun to really kind of target the podcast market, which is still growing. I mean, there's still like new podcasts coming out all the time, aren't they? They're not going anywhere anytime quickly, and have become such a kind of mainstream media option in the past few years. So Threads is leaning into this audience by rolling out features designed to enhance show promotion and discussion within the app. So that's quite interesting because we don't necessarily have an app that is specifically trying to target like podcast chat. I'm always surprised that Spotify doesn't really support this. So if you listen to an podcast in Spotify, you can leave comments on the podcast episode, but the usability isn't great in terms of kind of engaging with and following users on Spotify. And I do think that is something that's going to be coming soon. But threads have seen a gap in the market here and are starting to enable anyone who is a podcast marketer or a host of a host of a podcast to use some of these new features like podcast link visual enhancement. So this is where threads will give podcast links shared in the feed a unique and more pronounced look. This look will include colorful backgrounds and image thumbnails, making the links easier to spot. Also, this is where creators rated spot in the user profile links are also designated to stand out and intended to help podcasters better promote their shows and grow their audience. So this definitely feels like it's kind of the job of the host of the podcast, or kind of who is the face of the podcast, to be doing that through their personal channels. And so that leads on to the suggestion that if you are the podcast host, you should be active on Threads as a personal profile. So definitely something to consider if you are promoting a podcast. So you can just see a couple of other examples of what that looks like over on Threads. And I'm here for it. I think that's a really clever move by Threads. I think Threads are, in a place where they've seen huge growth over the last year. They're in a really strong position going into 2026 and finding kind of more niches, reasons why people might go to them versus X or Blue Sky. I think is obviously something that they're thinking about, and podcast seems to be a very sensible option. Reddit launches new interactive ads formats. So I am fascinated by the rise of Reddit over the last year, and some of the stats are absolutely mind-boggling of how much this platform has managed to acquire new users. A lot of that is because of their work on SEO and how much they are cited in AI chatbots and chats search tools. For example, the platform that ChatGPT references the most of any in its results is Reddit. So really, really interesting to see how they've managed to dominate that space. Also, if you just do a Google search on page one, you're likely to find a Reddit sort of feed or forum there. So I'm getting asked a lot at the moment from marketers, do I need to be on Reddit? Do we need to start thinking about Reddit strategies for 2026? And I certainly think it's one worth considering and doing some research and social listening around. Are people already talking about your brand? Are people talking about your products on Reddit? What's the sentiment? Are people positive? Are they negative? Another thing to consider with Reddit is, of course, the advertising platform too. Reddit's advertising business has grown 84% year on year, reaching $464.8 million. The growth up on the 61% increase in the previous quarter cemented Reddit's position as the fastest growing major social media platform of 2025. So Reddit has had an absolutely brilliant year, and I don't think that's going to change going into 2026. These are the sorts of ads that you can currently run on Reddit. I've got to be honest, I've never run Reddit ads before, but I'm sure that's about to change. However, I have spoken to social media marketers who have offered social media ads on Reddit. And the feedback that I hear is that it is very cheap in terms of clicks, and also is a brilliant alternative to where to put your X ads budget. So I work with a lot of brands that used to have advertising on X or have had presence on X in the past. And since X has become a much more dangerous platform for a brand to be on, they have pulled their advertising spend there and are looking for ways to reallocate it. So Reddit could certainly be an option going into 2026. The ads are quite subtle. They show up in your feeds, just like a normal post would, as you can see in these examples. You've got a variety of different formats, from image to video to carousel to freeform. And Reddit are about to launch more formats too. So we are also seeing ads, including, if we just look at the next slide, conversation ads. So you can be part of discussions with conversation ads where you can engage in ongoing conversations or kickstart new ones. Product ads, where you build product and shopping ads with your product catalog and provide Redditors. I didn't realize they were called Redditors until recently, with recommendations for what to find next. And AMAs, or Ask Me Anythings, which are quite a niche type of campaign that is very Reddit specific. An AMA campaign lets brands promote an upcoming AMA thread, reaching more users and driving their participation. So we're also seeing some new ads coming from Reddit. This is one of their most recent announced ads, and this is called an interactive ad. So this is how it looks on the Reddit app on a phone, and the format is designed to allow brands to go beyond static images or video ads, as we've seen on previous slides, leading to more active participation. Advertisers can use fully bespoke campaigns or high-impact, repeatable templates. You can see the example for the film Running Man, which is in cinemas at the moment. It feels like very interactive. Obviously, you've got to dodge the drones in this particular game. So it doesn't really look like Reddit at all, does it? It looks very much more like, I think, Reels or Snapchat. Available interactive templates include mini games, countdowns, quizzes, reveals, and trivia. And the format is expected to help boost awareness and improve user recall and interest in the promoted content. Reddit have said, we're helping brands transform traditional ads into content people want to engage with in our newest ad unit, interactive ads, in alpha testing now for select advertisers. So I do think 2026 is going to be a very interesting year in the world of Reddit. And I'm certainly watching this one very closely when it comes to our 2026 trends. Meta removes external Facebook like button. So if you've been working in social media marketing for a long time, or just an internet user, you'll know that traditionally, when you go to a website and you see a news article, often you will see the Facebook like button near a headline or somewhere in the article, which allows you to actually like that article using your logged in Facebook account, but off Facebook. You're maybe on a news website or you're reading a blog. That button is going to be discontinued from February 2026. These two options, which traditionally have kind of been in our news websites and news feeds, if we just skip to the next slide, we've got an example of that. They look like this, those little kind of like or share or even comment buttons. They're all being discontinued. Meta has said that the plugins that will be discontinued reflect an earlier era of web development, and their usage has naturally declined as the digital landscape has evolved. Basically, people don't click on them anymore. Nobody likes a post from a website using their Facebook account. People aren't sharing using those buttons anymore. We've just moved on in terms of our behavior. Obviously, it's quite costly, I'd imagine, for Meta to continue to kind of host those buttons. So they've decided that on February 10th next year, the plugins will gracefully degrade. I love that word from the Meta PR team there, by rendering as a 0x0 pixel. So basically what they'll do is they'll turn invisible rather than causing errors or breaking your website functionality. This change is intended to only remove the plugin content from your site and should not otherwise impact your website's functionality. But if you want to, you may choose to remove the plugin HTML code from your website for a cleaner user experience. So yeah, interesting to see, the way in which we have known social media to integrate into websites is constantly evolving and changing in 2026. Okay, so as always, we like to kind of round off today's session with a little bit of fun, some campaigns and trends that we've been spotting recently in our feeds. So let's get straight into those. The first is this apology statement. I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but this seems to be like a big trend on Instagram at the moment. We've seen quite a few of our favorite brands using this statement. I must say, I do like the green involved, obviously. But it does look like that classic apology statement that you see a brand who has made a mistake publish in their socials. But they have a twist. So all of these apology statements, which I think are timed perfectly with Black Friday just around the corner, are actually apologizing for having such great products or great promotions on their site. So really interesting to see that these brands have kind of taken this tongue-in-cheek approach of using a content format that they know is going to grab attention in the feed. Like as soon as you see like, we're sorry, you've got to read it. It's a bit like that car crash moment. So I really like the one from Tropic Skincare over on the right-hand side where they say, we're really sorry, we owe you an apology because once again, we're not doing Black Friday, at least not the usual way. No discounts, no flash sales, no promo codes. We used to join in, but never felt like us. Instead, we're choosing to do good over discounting because we believe Black Friday should be about more of what actually matters. For a third year, we're bringing back Give Back Friday, giving you more free, most loved formulas. So really nice take, I think, on Black Friday. And so keep an eye out for these. Maybe it's something that you want to have a go at doing over the next few days ahead of the busy Black Friday week next week. Crazy that it's now become a week or even a month, isn't it? And you can just create a template for those using something like Canva or Adobe.